Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, I'm Kyle Wood, and today we're going to be learning some fascinating facts about the humble paperclip. But before we get into all that, let's warm up our brains with a little challenge to see if you can tell truth from fiction. Consider this. We've all experienced the frustration of bending a paperclip just a little too far, and then it not only stops holding papers, it seems almost impossible to get back into its functional form. Would you believe there are some paperclips specifically designed so they can be completely ruined and then snap back into shape? They say you can twist it into an unrecognizable mangled knot of wire, then just drop it into a glass of hot water. The clip will automatically unfold itself right into the perfect oval paperclip shape. What do you think? Is this an actual fact or just too good to be true? We'll find out at the end of the episode. Now for your word of the day. Our word for today is elasticity. That's E-L-A-S-T-I-C-I-T-Y. In physics and material science, elasticity is a physical property of materials that allows them to return to their original shape after being bent, stretched, or compressed. When you slide a paperclip onto a stack of papers, you're slightly bending the metal loops outward to make room for the document. Because the steel wire possesses high elasticity, it naturally wants to snap back into its resting state, which applies the necessary friction and physical pressure to hold your pages tightly together. The word elasticity has roots in the early 17th century, deriving from the modern Latin word elasticus, which in turn comes from the Greek word elastos, meaning beaten out or ductile. It wasn't until the 1660s that scientists like Robert Hooke began to study it as a quantifiable physical property, leading to Hooke's law of elasticity. If a paperclip is bent too far, though, it surpasses its elastic limit and enters what physicists call plastic deformation. When this happens, the molecular structure of that metal is permanently altered, meaning the clip will remain bent and no longer hold your papers effectively. Time for your daily high five, our top 5 fun facts about paperclips. Number 1. The iconic oval in an oval paperclip that we use today is known as the gem clip, and it's actually never been patented. The standard paperclip you're likely picturing in your mind right now is officially called the gem clip, named after the British company Gem Manufacturing Limited. It was first produced in the late 19th century. Despite being the most ubiquitous and successful design in office supply history, there's no official patent on record for the original gem clip itself. Instead, the first relevant patent was filed in 1899 by an American named William Middlebrook, and his patent was actually for the machine designed to manufacture the clip. His mechanized invention expertly bent spring steel wire into the famous double oval shape with minimal structural stress. Because the underlying design was never patented, any manufacturer was legally free to produce the gem clip, which helped it quickly spread all over the world. Other inventors did try to get some patents on alternative shapes, including triangles, squares, and even owl-like figures, in order to try to get a profitable monopoly on the market. But none of these alternatives could beat the gem clip's perfect balance of flexibility, gripping power, and ease of use. Number 2. Most modern paperclips are made from galvanized steel wire to prevent rust and keep the documents clean. To manufacture a high-quality paperclip, producers must select a material that's both strong enough to maintain pressure and flexible enough to open without snapping. Carbon steel wire is the standard choice, but raw steel is highly susceptible to oxidation, which causes rust when exposed to moisture. In order to prevent that, the steel wire undergoes a chemical process called galvanization before it's bent into its final shape. During this process, the steel wire is coated with a thin protective layer of zinc to shield the underlying iron from oxygen in the air. The zinc coating acts as a sacrificial anode, meaning that even if the clip is scratched, the zinc will safely corrode before the structural steel does. And this is really important for people around the office who don't want rusting paper clips to leave permanent orange-brown stains on important archival documents. Some modern variations actually take it a step further to protect the documents by coating the metal with brightly colored vinyl or plastic. These polymer coatings not only prevent rust entirely, but also provide a smoother surface, eliminating the risk of snagging delicate paper fibers. Number 3. The U.S. government named a secret post-World War II intelligence program Operation Paperclip because that humble tool is what they used to identify top talent they wanted to recruit. Following the defeat of Nazi Germany in 1945, the United States initiated a covert intelligence operation aimed at recruiting top German scientists, engineers, and technicians. The goal was to harness their technical expertise for the American military and space programs before the Soviet Union could secure their knowledge. The operation was originally called Operation Overcast, but it was soon renamed by military intelligence officers. The new name, Operation Paperclip, came from the physical action taken by the officers reviewing the dossiers of these scientists. As intelligence officials sorted through vast stacks of personnel files, they used a simple paperclip to quickly single out the folders of the scientists who were deemed most valuable to the United States. A paperclip securely attached to a folder signaled that that individual should be prioritized or fast-tracked for recruitment and security clearance. Ultimately, more than 1,600 German scientists, including prominent aerospace engineer Wernher von Braun, were brought to the U.S. under this program. Number 4. A Canadian town built the world's largest paperclip to celebrate a local man who started with a single paperclip and traded until he acquired a house. In 1989, the town of Kipling, Saskatchewan erected a gigantic paperclip to commemorate a famous local event involving a series of trades. This massive structure stands at 15 feet 2 inches tall, and it's over 4 feet wide. It was constructed entirely from solid steel, weighing about 3,180 pounds. It was built to celebrate a man named Kyle McDonald, who famously started with a single red paperclip and traded it up over a series of 14 transactions until he acquired a house in Kipling. The Guinness World Records officially recognized this massive steel sculpture as the largest paperclip in the world. And visitors from all over the globe traveled to the small Canadian town just to take photographs with the supersized office supply. And our fifth and final fun fact for today: while most metal objects are going to sink in water because, let's face it, metal is more dense than water, a solid metal paperclip can actually be made to float on the surface of water due to surface tension. You can actually rest a paperclip on the surface of water. It's a fun little parlor trick, but it's also got some interesting science behind it. Surface tension is a property of liquids that allows their surface to behave like a stretched elastic membrane. Water molecules are highly cohesive, meaning they're strongly attracted to one another through hydrogen bonds. At the surface of the water, there are no water molecules above them to pull on them, so they bind even more tightly to the molecules beside and below them. This tightly bound layer forms a microscopic sort of skin across the top of the water that's strong enough to support relatively lightweight and well-distributed masses. To make a paperclip float, you have to lower it perfectly flat onto the water, often using a piece of tissue paper that eventually sinks, leaving the metal clip behind. As it rests there, you can actually see the water's surface bending downward under the weight of the metal, but it's not breaking. Still, if you add just a single drop of liquid soap to the water, the soap molecules will immediately disrupt the hydrogen bonds, breaking that surface tension and causing the paperclip to sink in an instant. Now for some news you can use. We all know paper clips are great for, well, clipping paper and holding them together, but they can be useful in other ways as well. For example, many people use paper clips to save themselves the frustration of losing the edge on a roll of clear packing tape or duct tape. Every time you finish using a roll of tape, just slip a standard paper clip horizontally underneath the sticky end of the tape before you press it down. The metal wire creates a permanent, non-stick physical barrier between the tape's adhesive and the roll underneath. It's great because the smooth metallic surface of the paperclip doesn't bond with the chemical adhesives used in commercial tapes. So then, the next time you need to seal a box, you won't have to scrape your fingernails around the roll trying to find the invisible edge. You just grab the paperclip, pull it upwards, and the tape will dispense perfectly every single time. Finally, the moment you've been waiting for. At the beginning of the episode, I asked, could there possibly be specially designed paperclips that can be twisted, mangled into a knot, and then magically repair themselves in hot water? Well, believe it or not, that's a fact. These specialized paperclips are not made of steel like most others are. Instead, they use a special material called nitinol. Nitinol is a shape memory alloy made from a mixture of nickel and titanium. When the metal is first manufactured, it's heated to an extremely high temperature and formed into the shape of a standard paperclip. In this process, it's essentially teaching the metal its permanent resting state. At room temperature, the crystalline structure of the metal is highly flexible, allowing you to bend and twist it easily without snapping it. But when you drop that tangled wire into a glass of hot water, the sudden heat causes the molecules to rapidly shift back to their original, sort of programmed arrangement. So while the paperclip is often held up as a humble object that's brilliant in its simplicity, I guess there's always room for improvement thanks to clever engineers. Now, I hope you enjoyed learning a bit about paperclips with me today. Be sure to tune in every weekday for even more fun facts. Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Kyle Wood. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with me. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.